when I decided to do this, I talked to Elisa about it because obviously it's a family decision. And Elisa really, gave me 100% of her support. And she's been behind me ever since then. And since then, Jake goes to school every day and he talks me up to his buddies and he talks me up to his teachers. Although he did tell one of his teachers today that this was being held at some Italian restaurant. But, and Griffin, on the other hand, the day that I pulled nomination papers, Griffin, I think, made 37 signs in about 48 hours. And if you've looked at the box up there, he spelled the word selectman 37 different ways. So Griffin's probably my biggest supporter of all. And I don't really prefer to stand up here and discuss my own community involvement because as I look out into the audience, I see a lot of people that dedicate a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort to Dedham. And I don't really think that I'm that much different than anybody else in this room. Whether it's youth sports, or whether it's PTO, or it's Square Circle, or it's Civic Pride, a lot of people give a lot of their time and effort into making this community a better place, and I think you all deserve a round of applause for that. True story, some of my friends are sitting over there, one of them's Jimmy, and when I first started coaching T-ball, I roped Jimmy and about 5 other guys to come down and help me coach. They didn't have any kids, didn't have any involvement in the community, but they had no problems coming down and help me out and coach T-ball. So, one benefit, as a lot of you know, I'm the Precinct 3 representative for the Finance Committee, and one benefit to being on the Finance Committee is I get to see everything. Bylaws, zoning, the budget, you name it. You see it on the Finance Committee and you get to vote on it. And I think that over time, I voted in favor of articles that will make Dedham a cleaner and safer place. I voted against ones that have benefited select areas of the town. I voted in favor of capital projects that satisfy our town needs, and I voted against one, the senior center, which I really do believe is a town need. I just think that the price tag for that was a little bigger than what the residents of the town can afford. Not that we don't need one, but I just thought it was a little too costly. I also voted against raising the hotel and the meals tax, and it was primarily because I really don't believe that there was a plan in place as far as what we were going to do with the money. In my opinion, we were just making a tax grab and not much more without knowing where that money was going to end up going to. I'm almost done. And it's no secret that our town has major facility needs. In '97, we did a study on the police station that recommended that it get replaced. It's 2010. We have a fire station in East Dedham that was built in 1898. I tried to come up with a line for that one, but I think it stands out on its own. I mean, I tell everybody that that fire station was built 10 years before the Model T was ever invented. I don't know when a building has lived a long and prosperous life, but I think that one's one that needs to go sometime soon. And at this point today, we are one of only a few communities in Massachusetts that don't have a senior center. All of those 3 projects are very important. There's a big difference between a want and a need, and I don't think any of them are a want. I think every single one of those 3 things are a need. But lately, it seems, over the last few years, we haven't prioritized, never mind addressed, our biggest needs. We've attempted a project based on which community group speaks the loudest, and this practice really does need to stop. We need to do a better job of planning for the future. We need to plan and prioritize the town's needs. And we need to stop the practice of tax increases first and figure out what to do later. In my opinion, that is not much of a plan. We don't need to look very far to find examples of good examples of this. The School Building Rehabilitation Committee did a great job identifying the needs of the school system, putting in an action plan in place, and targeting the most expensive school first to get the most reimbursement rate from the state. And today, we have a new middle school, and we're about to break ground on a new Avery school shortly. And one, it's a huge benefit to the town, and 2, they were able to save the taxpayers of the town a lot of money with the way they did it. Another thing another good example is what the DPW and the Department of Engineering does with our road improvement plan. Everybody knows that their roads need to be fixed in town, but there's a priority. They don't have an unlimited budget, and Rome wasn't built in a day. But based on the road improvement plan, Everybody knows when their road's going to get done a year in advance, or if their road isn't going to get done, or how much work's going to get done to it. And that's because they have a plan in place that addresses the needs of the town. Those types of plans are what we need to do in order to prioritize our capital projects and get these buildings built. So, in closing, I really need everybody in this room support. I'm running against 2 incumbents. I'm running against Bob Desmond, who seems to be the mayor of the town. For those of you that might be at Endicott Estate tonight, Bob knows everybody. I jumped into the race late, so any help is greatly appreciated. It doesn't necessarily have to be financial. Maybe it's just putting a sign out in front of your house. Maybe it's helping with a sign hold. Maybe it's doing a dear friend card. Even if it's just showing up and voting on election day, I need all the support I can get, and I really would appreciate your help. I think together that we can really make that a better place. Thank you.
I'm supporting Derek because I think Derek's got a lot of